it's okay not to be okay in this season of your life. Like, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's okay not to be
like,
okay. What are you grateful for about this transition?
That next phase is where you want to be.
What is it going to teach you? What are you going to learn?
I'm still trying to get there. I'm still trying to find the peace in the mess. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So we are back with another episode of Sister to Sister.
Yeah. This is KEIYANA.
And this is KENDRA. And in this episode, we're going to talk about unexpected changes and navigating through the transitions of unexpected changes.
And sorry you guys aren't getting a video of us this week, but we still wanted to do a podcast for you guys this week. And hope you guys enjoy listening.
Yeah. So this week has honestly been a tough week for us. Like, there actually has been a lot of unexpected changes. We actually recently just lost our childhood dog, Magic, and it hit home for us. Like, he's been with us for like 16 long years.
Yeah.
And
almost over half our life.
Yeah.
Really.
And it's been tough. Like, there's been other things too, but that one really put everything into.
It just shifted everything. It shifted things, and then it also like paused things. I don't know how to explain it, at least for me.
Yeah, it put a huge damp on my week, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't expect to cry as much as I did. And I know it's like crazy. Some people really think like, oh my gosh, crazy dog people, like, are you really crying over your dog or whatever? But hell yeah.
When you're actually like there and you're with your pet that you've known since you were a teenager, if that, like, I was 12 when we got him, and you had to be like 10.
Yeah, I was 10 when we got him.
And he was a puppy when we got him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when you're there and you're seeing that, oh my gosh, you know, he's getting a little weaker. He can't see here. He's having trouble walking. And you see him. You see the changes. I think that would just hit anyone hard, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I thought I wouldn't be like this either. But I'm like over here crying.
I don't think we all really didn't expect to feel as sad as we did.
Our mom definitely didn't expect to feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that it was coming. We did know it was coming. He couldn't see. He started to lose his sight. Then eventually he started to lose all his senses.
Yeah.
But it was tough, like, seeing him not move.
Yeah.
And I didn't hold him, but KEIYANA did. And
Mom did too.
Yeah. Our mother did too when he passed away. And
he passed away at home, and we took him to the hospital. So I never knew it would be like that. You just don't realize, like, oh, if he passes away, how do you get him to the hospital? Like, how does that transition work? You don't think about the details.
You really don't. Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to keep talking about this, because this is just too much.
It is a lot. But either way, it's like we did have an unexpected change that happened. We're so used to seeing him around, but R.I.P. to our childhood dog. It rest in heaven. I really hope there's dogs in heaven, because he was a really, really important, part of our family.
There are dogs in heaven. I believe it. There are pets and there are animals in heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's so many other transitions that I think that we could talk about too, as far as not just like dealing with grief. I know that that's a huge and heavy one, but it's also just like just transitions in your life. Maybe when it comes down to work or your love life or
adulting in general, transitioning from high school to college, from college to real life.
Yeah, and like navigating through I don't know, just how you're going to handle everything. I know that sometimes I get really overwhelmed. Like, I think that my response usually has some form of anxiety attached to it.
Yeah.
And I start to really overthink everything. And that's probably not the healthiest response, but it's an honest response. Like, I usually have a response like that.
I feel like that's definitely normal. I feel the same way too. I feel like when like you're starting a new job that you worked so hard to get, you're really excited about, but you're like, oh my God, I'm afraid or I'm anxious. Like, what are they gonna think about me? And am I gonna do well on my first, project? Or am I going to be able to handle it all? Is it all going to be too much?
I think that's what it is. It's like, can I handle all of this?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that goes back to, like, believing in yourself and having faith in yourself and knowing that you wouldn't be in the position that you are if you couldn't handle it or if you weren't capable of making this step. Because, you have so many milestones in life, and you can't get to the next one without a transition. So it's like, I mean, we're going to have these transitions, and we need tools to really, like, get to one place to another. Because, I mean, we can't live life like, I don't know, stagnant. These transitions help us to grow. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you have a really good support system, even if it's friends or family who's not even blood, like, if you have a really good group or a circle that you can depend on emotionally, even physically, like, times are hard, okay? It's hard as I'm not saying that I'm going through a tough time, but
question mark.
Yeah. But, I mean, I honestly am going through a tough time because of the transition that I'm currently in hasn't been something that I was expecting. And it's been really getting to my mental. Like, it's putting my faith to the test, and how I move and what I do to the test. Like, it's really shifting the way I think about myself and think about how I'm going to navigate this chapter in my life with a little one. So it's
a little baby.
Transitions I don't really like. I don't like transitions. I know they're essential, but I hate transitions. Every transition I have just gives me so much anxiety and so much, like, I'm the worrier. I worry a lot. And when you worry is really when you have, like, anxiousness, and then when you think about the past is when you're depressed, right? Mm-hmm. My thing has always been worrying about the future and having anxiousness, and I try to bring myself down from that by, of course, reading the Bible and talking through my feelings and emotions with a family member, aka my sister, and that's the only thing that's really helped me, and actually doing something in the transition to put, I don't know, the work in to get out of the transition.
Yeah. I feel like the transition is, like, always a weird phase to be in, because when you're in that phase, I mean, you are going to feel anxious. But if you're in the transitioning phase, you're also probably dealing with stuff from the past too. So it could be a mix of anxiety and depression during that stage, and that can be a lot. But I feel like what gets me through it is realizing, like, okay, like what you were saying, like, okay, I'm spiritual, I believe in God, so I'm someone who's going to always be like, okay, God, what do I do? Because what I'm feeling right now, I don't want to feel this no more. And I want to hurry up and get to the next stage, okay? Mm-hmm. Easily, smoothly, and quickly, and be comfortable in it. But I know that it's such a good thing to feel uncomfortable, because, like you said, you don't want to be stagnant. You don't want to be you don't want to be comfortable all the time. You want to grow. Like, we can talk about, like, examples. Like, you gave an example of your transitioning period, dealing with the little one, and just...
If I think back on, like, past transitions, there was this huge transition in my life and I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was so scary. I was pregnant at the time and I didn't have a place to live, and it was one of those things where I was putting in the work to try to figure out where is the best place for me to live. If my work is in LA, but my family's in Riverside, it was really difficult for me to navigate that. I feel like in that particular transition, I was so focused on finding a place so much that I put so much pressure on myself instead of taking a step back and seeing what my options were that I didn't even think about, you know? And that was when I ended up, at the time, this is when my family and I were estranged, and I was all like, look, in order for me to make things right and to do the things I need to do for my son, I need to make the first step to mend things with my family. And, you know, I could have sat, wallowed in my pride, and been like, I can do it on my own. I can do this. I don't need them, and yada, yada, yada. But taking a step back, thinking about my options, and letting God speak to me, I knew the right thing to do was to just forgive, was to just apologize, was to just make amends so that I can get out of this transition and smoothly go into the right path that God had for me, or smoothly go into the next phase in my life. And I think that's what it really is about, trying to figure out how to get into that next phase in your life. Because that next phase is where you want to be. Because I feel like we all dream to be in this ideal spot. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what really motivates us. And so when we feel like we're losing that dream or that idea, we start to get frustrated and lose sight of who we are because of, you know, the transition. So
yeah, and I think, like, when you are going through, like, what you were going through in that transitioning stage, or that unexpected change in your life, is to, like, remember to be kind to yourself.
Yeah, give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace, and pretty much just, like, find the positives in the changes. Mm-hmm. Instead of worrying, instead of being in that mindset of having all of those negative thoughts towards the transitioning stage that you're in. Like you said, you worry and get anxious when you're in that transitioning stage, and I'm the same way. So I feel like instead of worrying so much, which is mainly us worrying about the negatives, if we could think about, okay, what are the good things about this transition?
Yeah, that's why gratitude lists are so important.
Yeah, gratitude lists are, like, what are you grateful for about this experience? What is it going to teach you? What are you going to learn? Like,
I found that writing down everything you're grateful for helps when you're feeling negative, and helps when you're really feeling down on yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like everything that you go through in life is about perspective. And if you just change your perspective just a little bit, you could really change your situation around.
That's true. That's definitely true. And I guess just, like, also not ignoring what you're feeling. Not ignoring, because I'm someone who will, like, I think we said in the last episode, I'll, like, suppress. I'm good at suppressing my feelings and my emotions. So if I am feeling like, I try to get pushed through it. Like, okay, we're going through the transitioning phase. Okay, that's what's happening. I'm not going to feel anything. I'm going to just boom, boom, bam, get to the next, because I want to get comfortable real quick. I ain't got time to deal with what I'm worried about.
What I need to feel.
But you need to feel it. You need to, like, not ignore it. You need to...
That's so true.
You need to accept that, okay, a change is happening. And once you accept it, you can look at the positives,
I like
not
how
just
you
the
worded
negatives.
that. Yeah.
And then you can grow and learn from that transition. So that's why I'm still learning, y'all.
I need to, like, sometimes though, I need to take a little bit of what you said, but then a little bit of what you do. Because I be
like suppressing?
Yeah,
like suppress it, but like don't ignore it?
Yeah, like sometimes I'm hyper focused on my feelings too much that I be over analyzing, overthinking, and I need to just chill out and calm down.
Yeah, because somebody told me, they were like, I don't know who it was, but I saw this on Instagram. Dang, it sucks that I don't have it. I want to say it was, damn, who was it?
What was it about?
She or he, I don't even know what it was, but she or he was on a talk show. And if y'all know, let us know, okay? Let us know in the comments, because I know everybody saw this. But it was someone saying the best advice that they've ever gotten was, it is not that deep.
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah?
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah said, it ain't that deep.
It's don't take everything personally or
Is that what
something
it
like
was?
that. It was like,
same difference.
Yeah, it was all like, don't take it too serious.
Yeah, because
don't
I
take
think
life too seriously.
Look,
something like that.
The best piece of advice I ever received came from my partner / manager, Shakim, and it was, it ain't that serious. That was the advice. I was going through a breakup. I was stressed out. It was all this stuff going on, and he was like, yo, D, it ain't that serious. And I don't know why, but those words just hit me like a ton of bricks, and it released everything that I had been just taking so seriously. It put everything in perspective, and I was able to kind of just chill and carry that with me. So sometimes when things get really heavy, I think about them, and once I put it in perspective, it's really not that serious.
Change is inevitable. We all know that. That's the one thing in life, okay? That is inevitable, is change. So if we're like, accept it, don't ignore it, acknowledge it, and just be like, okay, this is happening. This is life. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to get used to it eventually. It's not that deep. Don't think too much about it. It's going to happen. You think it's not going to happen? It's going to happen. You can't control it. Focus on things you can control, which is not worrying about it. So we can just
it's so difficult because when you're in a transition, you have to worry about it in order to get out of the transition. You got to not worry about it, but you have to figure it out. You can't you
can plan, yes. You cannot worry so much about it, but okay.
That's the tough part that's hard for me. It's so hard to plan, but not to worry while you're planning.
Yeah. But it's also not, so you have to think about it you have to break it down. Break down, give yourself time to acknowledge what you're feeling. Give yourself a little bit of time to grieve. Give yourself a little bit of time to worry. Give yourself a little bit of time now to get over the worry. Start thinking about the positives. Now start planning. You really have to set aside, okay, I'm going to take, if I just need 2, maybe 3 days, maybe just 1 hour, depending on the situation. Give yourself that amount of time, however much time you need, to deal with that at that moment. Deal with it and worry about it for a day. Grieve for a week. Mm-hmm. Grieve for, I don't know if this is too deep to even talk about, but I know our Jewish friend at LA Film School, he was like, you know what? You're grieving. I know people are telling you to get over it, but in our community, we grieve for a whole year. We take a year to grieve over and mourn over someone that has passed, a loved one that has passed. So I feel like we are forced to, okay, you got to get back to the real world. You got to get, life still goes on. But if we really are patient with ourselves and give us the amount of time that we actually really need to grieve or to go through that transition, I feel like it's okay. But my friend told me that, and when he told me that, I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. It was, I should tell you later. He validated my feelings in that moment and made me feel like, okay, I'm okay to still be mourning, okay, damn it. Like,
and I
can mourn as long as I want to, and y'all to tell me I gotta move on 2 months later just because you moved on 2 months later because your friend passed away and you were able to move on that fast? I don't.
For me, during a transition or an unexpected change, I feel okay. Let me just not get ahead of myself. In an unexpected change, it can be tough because we are always expected to have everything together. Like on social media, it's highlight reels, right? Yeah. Not low light reels. No one's ever gonna post, oh my gosh, like well, actually people do.
I'm like, yeah, I just did.
People actually do. But
yeah, some people do.
But people don't really pay attention to those, especially if it's a long post. They just skim right over it.
I pay attention to those people who have lost someone, people who have lost their job, having a hard life, hard time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm here for you, and I'm glad you posted it because that's real. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. For being real.
So it is important to show that side, but for me, sometimes I feel like society makes it seem like we have to be perfect all the time. Mm-hmm. So when I'm going through an unexpected change, it's like it's not okay. And I think that's what the pressure is during the transitions, is the pressure of, oh my God, like I'm not okay. Is that okay? Like, you know?
Yeah, like, it's okay not to be like, okay.
I'm not okay. I need to hurry up and get back to okay. Otherwise, people will start to see that I'm not okay. Like, yeah. And it's like one of those things that I struggle with. Mm-hmm. And I want to be...
I'm the same way.
I always want to be in a place where I am...
okay.
I have it all together. It's kind of like back to being like balanced and wanting to have that balance.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, and wanting to have that balance, but sometimes you don't. And that could be the time where you're transitioning. Yeah. And if we were to be balanced all the time, we would be perfect all the time, and nobody's perfect. So I'm still struggling with it's okay not to be okay in this season of your life. Because life is so... oh my gosh, there's just so many ups and downs in life. There's no way you can be up all the time.
I know that some people can't stay that long in that grieving period. Some people can't, because if you end up staying a year, you get stuck. Yeah, like you don't want to get stuck. So you know yourself. You know how you deal with things, or maybe you don't, and this is the first time though. Like maybe you don't know how you deal with things. This is the first time you went to college. You don't know how to deal with this. This is the first time you've ever had a job. This is the first time you've had a relationship that lasted this long, and now you're getting over a breakup. Like I don't know. Like,
I mean, to those of you who don't have a support system to lean on when you're going through a transition that you've never went through before,
honestly, the best thing that you can do is find that one thing that brings you peace. Now, if that's therapy, if that's God, that's church, that's meditating, that's exercising. Exercising helps so much, because when you exercise, you get your brain,
that's so true.
Your neurons. I don't know all the terms, y'all, but you start your brain start working,
sure and you just feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I think it's some type of chemical in your brain that goes off.
Something starts
balancing. Releases pheromones, and like you want to. Yeah, that you just have a positive outlook on your situation.
Yeah.
It's finding peace within all of that, knowing and having a solid foundation of who you are, regardless of where you are, and that's what these transitions teach us. Like they teach us who we are. In the ups and the downs. Like if you're still at peace during your down, then I feel like you know who you are. And I'm still trying to get there. I'm still trying to find the peace in the mess. Like
that's good. The peace in the mess. That should be the title of this podcast.
Yeah.
of this episode.
Yeah, I'm really still trying to find it. It's a daily practice. It is. And you don't really... I was watching, I know it's such an old movie, but y'all, I actually sat down and watched it.
Wait.
It's called, that movie where, was it Sandra Bullock? It was somebody, Julia Roberts or something.
What movie was it?
It was when she goes and travels. She like gets a divorce or something, and then she ends up traveling. And she finds.
Oh,
she goes to one place and she finds.
You're talking about.
She goes to another place and she finds.
Come on, y'all, help us out. What is it called? It's Julia Roberts, and it's about Eat, Pray, and Love.
Eat, Pray, Love.
Eat, Pray, Love.
You guys. Oh my gosh. And I know. Man,
I've never seen that movie.
You have to watch it, KEIYANA. It is so healing.
Like, I'm scared to cry again. Like, I don't want to.
Maybe I should cry. I don't think you're going to cry.
Oh, you don't think it's a crying movie?
I don't think so. I don't think I cried.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. I might cry today.
I think it's eye-opening because she goes to Italy and she just eats away. She indulges in, like, all the things that Italy has.
She's going to make me want to travel.
She's beautiful and everything's great. And then she goes to, like, I don't know where it was, but then she starts to practice prayer.
She goes to Bali. Yeah. That's where she ends, I believe. Yeah.
She starts to practice prayer, and she was having a hard time quieting her mind. Oh, my God, you guys. She was having a hard time quieting her mind, and it was basically teaching her how to. She had to be taught all over again how to love herself. She loved herself so much. She ended up finding something she fell in love with. And he was all like, go away with me. Go away with me. And she said, I don't want to because I just started to love myself again.
I know you feel the same way I do. Why can't you say it back?
I don't know why. Look.
What?
I don't know why you can't understand this. I found something and I can't give it up. And trust me, if I did, you wouldn't be so all in love with me.
Okay, the balance thing. You've traveled all around the world to find your balance. And the balance that you think you found is what? Meditating for 20 minutes and going to see an old medicine man? Listen, balance, my darling, balance is not letting anybody love you less than you love yourself.
Okay.
That's
you know
what balance is.
All right, you know what?
Right.
Do not tell me what lessons I have and haven't learned in the last year. And don't tell me how balanced and wise you are and how I can't express myself. I do not need to love you to prove that I love myself.
But I think that, I haven't watched the movie. I haven't watched the movie, but I feel like she should have gone at her own time. Because
just watch it. The ending will
okay, because I'm like, but this time you actually took the time to know yourself. Whereas before you didn't. So now you'll always have that foundation.
That part.
Okay, I want to read this real quick. But, okay, there was this article on the Accountants Growth Club. Look, I don't know, I just Googled. Okay, so this one says 16 ways to cope when life suddenly changes. And what it said was why our brain resists change. So it's like natural, it's normal. Our brains are powerful tools that can become weapons. And in the instance of change, that's exactly what they become. And it goes on to say, when you try to maintain two inconsistent beliefs at the same time, or when you believe in one thing but act in a contradictory way, that's cognitive dissonance. It's that uncomfortable feeling that you get when you're going through that phase of like pretty much two different realities. You had a normal life, you were okay, you were feeling balanced. Now you're entering this transition and you know you're about to go into this other reality, new period in your life, new stage in your life. It's like, it's normal to feel uncomfortable and it's normal to feel vulnerable during that time. Which, I mean,
Sarah J. Roberts actually talked about that in one of her sermons. She said something about intersection and how you want to live in the intersection because that's the only way to grow.
Ooh.
And I think that it kind of is something similar to what you're saying.
There is a positioning that cannot be swayed based on your circumstance. I call this intersection the intersection of the foreign and the familiar. Most of us stay in the familiar because we are afraid of what's foreign. You have to relocate the way that you have positioned your goals, your ideas of success and achievement. They have to be repositioned to not be just about arriving to a destination. You have to be repositioned at an intersection of the foreign in the familiar.
It makes sense.
That makes so much sense.
Your brain is kind of like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Are you sure we should do this? Are you
Right.
sure this is right?
Your brain's
It
like,
doesn't
bro,
feel right.
we weren't used to this
Like
yesterday.
It's honestly one of those things where you have to train yourself to be like, this is what it is now, not what it was then. Like, this is what it's
Yeah.
going to be, so make it happen. Like, this is what, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I keep seeing 1111 everywhere, but I don't know if it's just like when you tell yourself like that you see a number all the time, then
I know,
start
and
to
then you
notice
start
it
seeing
more.
a lot,
I don't know if
yeah.
it's that or if I'm really seeing it because there's a meaning
Well, it is
behind
what it is.
But when I looked up 1111, it was basically saying that like I feel like it always says something different every time I look it up.
It's because the people have different meanings when you Google it.
But when I looked it up this time, it said to like to not be afraid of
change.
Yeah, like you're going through a transition. The angels are saying, "Don't be afraid of it," or something.
That's
and like,
nice. That's deep.
And for me, I've had this idea of how I thought that this year was gonna go, but it's starting to shift. And my brain is all like what you said. My brain is all like, "This is not what we want. Remember what we planned. Remember yada yada." But what's right in front of me is saying something different.
Yeah. Like,
So what's right in front of me is what I have to take for face value and change my mind, change my...
because you have control of your
yeah,
thoughts in your mind.
Yeah, and change what I can control, which is my mind.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I can do is change my perspective on the situation in order to move forward.
Yeah.
Because if I stay set back in my past plan or what I thought was going to happen, I can never move forward.
That's why words of affirmation is good, to change the thoughts in your brain that have been thinking the same way for a long period of time.
And if you
about the
guys
same
need
things.
somebody, there's this girl. Her channel is Lavender, and she's amazing. She's
love
on
her.
YouTube. If you're looking for a really good positive affirmation YouTube channel, check her out because I always listen to her. I love how she phrases her affirmations.
Yeah, it's Lavin, Lavendaiire, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lavender.
So, just to go through this quickly, how do you deal with sudden change? To help your brain adjust to any sudden change in your life, a change that is causing you turmoil, here are 16 strategies that will help. So 1, don't fight it, try to accept it.
There you go. That's the first one. Jesus.
Right.
Amen.
Be present in the moment. Worry about the things you can't control. Okay. 2, remind yourself that even good change can cause stress, and that's okay. Okay, we can deal with the positive change, okay? All right,
Even good change. Gosh, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so 3, make a plan. That's what we were just saying, make a plan. Number 4, keep up your regular schedule as much as possible. Have that some type of consistency to make sure that the transition's more smooth. You know, like when you're at work.
That's hard.
Think about it, though.
Isn't that hard?
Think about it. When you're going through a transition phase, that's why I said exercise. If you exercise 3 times, 4 times a week.
Okay, I was thinking of something else. But yeah, that makes sense.
Something light. Like, okay, if you wake up every morning and you go walk your dog, continue to wake up every morning and walk your dog. Continue to exercise 3 times a week. Okay. Continue go get your coffee in the morning at Starbucks. Number 4.
I was thinking of if something happened in the middle of all that, you're supposed to continue to do what you're doing, but like...
It'll help, but also don't put too much on yourself, on your plate, you know?
Okay, because I'm like, if you
Balance.
emotionally can't take it, like, don't push yourself.
But light stuff, like,
Yeah.
you know, don't forget to take care of yourself.
Yeah, that part.
4, so 5, exercise often. 6, try to eat as healthy as possible, because healthy brain, healthy body will help you stay present, help you stay rejuvenated and good, feeling good. 7, practice self-care, meditate, do some yoga, and take a bath, go on that long walk you love, go hiking, do something. Do something that you know will help yourself and your minds stay intact. 8, seek support. You need to go see that therapist. You need to go talk to your mama, talk to your sister, your best friend, your boyfriend, talk to your grandma. Anyone you know you can lean on. Your pastor,
your dog.
Talk to him. Your dog. Oh my God, your dog. 9, get proactive. This one says, while keeping busy to avoid dealing with your feelings is very detrimental to your health, being proactive is a stress reliever. I ain't going too deep into it. But 10, turn venting into action. While venting is great for support and not feeling alone, it can get detrimental if the people around you are just solely venting all the time. This negativity and panic can be contagious. Y'all, stay away from them toxic people. Because when you go into your transition...
talk about it. I know that's right.
Stay away from the people who are going to keep you down. You try to state... That's why I said timeline. Set time aside to feel in that moment.
Then
to
move on.
Then get out of it.
Get out of it.
Keep it moving.
That's all
Stay positive.
You're kind of long. That's all I'm saying. But it's good that you need that. But some people can't do it that way.
Some people can't. Some people can't.
Maybe 6 months for me.
I think
I'll try to come out of it after 6 months. I can't do it.
I feel like you're still going to be, when you're grieving, like you're going to think
There's
about
phases.
It suddenly hits you.
That's true.
Like, oh man, I'm eating the mac and cheese. Like, he used to love eating
You're kind of always grieving though.
You are. It's a whole
always in the
life.
back of your mind.
Probably for the rest of your life you're going to be grieving. But you can start to grieve in healthier ways. That's not bringing you down. It can be more, lighthearted and
brightest flower that he always liked.
Yeah, uplifting and happy thoughts.
But yeah, it's not all about grieving. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. 11, delegate or outsource if you need to. So if it's too much, y'all, to carry it on, the load, and you're going through that transition phase, say, girl, I started my new job. Can you please just help me out?
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Do not be afraid to ask for help.
12, build in brain breaks. What does this mean?
How many are there?
16.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, y'all do some stretching, some brain stretches. Get your so pretty much you want to make sure that your brain is. I could get into it, but this is a lot.
That is a lot.
But you want to make sure that you're exercising your brain,
like doing word crosses, something.
Like 1 to 3 minutes, stimulate your brain.
Read a book,
possibly. Physical movement, stimulate neurological pathways, help both hemispheres of the brain work together, doodling, pressure point massage.
Oh, kind of like
stretching.
Get your brain off of it.
Yeah, collecting different pieces of a puzzle with your mind. Yeah, get your
brain off of it.
At least for 3 minutes. 13, like you said, focus on gratitude. What are you grateful for?
God, that helps me so much.
Because then you're telling
outlook.
Your brain is like, oh, life is good. Like there are, you're still breathing.
I'm alive.
You can eat, you can chew, you got your limbs.
I had a friend that said, if you saying you alive, that's not good.
If that's the lowest you were at, and to get out of it is to say that I'm alive and I'm happy that I can take a breath.
But when she said that, I was all like, that's not always true. Like when you
you gotta stay away from the toxic people. Toxic people
She was all like, well, if you just saying that at least you're alive, then you got bigger problems.
Yes,
she said something like that.
You're right. That's why I'm saying, thank God I'm alive. Okay, damn, support me. 14, deal with any grief and loss. Deal with it. Accept it. Acknowledge it. Don't ignore it. 15, take a step back from social media and the news, because y'all, they be bringing you down. Like you said, everything's perfect on social media. The news is just chaos. It's going to bring you down regardless. You think everybody perfect on social media and your life ain't perfect.
The news is also on social media too.
Yes. So
that's
it's like
a double
And last but not least, give yourself a break. Okay, we can't control change, but we can cope with it.
Yeah, we can't control it, but we can cope with it. It's a process, like everything else in life is.
It is. And there's more things out there. Like, I know I'd be looking them up to see, like, okay, how the hell am I going to get through this? I meditate, go to God, listen to TD Jakes, Sarah Jakes, and go to my family, friends for support.
Take a step back, make a gratitude list.
Yeah.
Do a little run and see where your mind is at.
Oh my God, yeah, like just jogging, just activating your mind in a different way than negative.
Yeah.
Negativity.
It's important to keep track of what you're intaking eating wise too.
It is.
And making sure that you're not tired.
I
know that sometimes we stay up at night, but being tired, being hungry, being even thirsty can impact the way that you're thinking and can impact the way that your perspective is on that day or in that moment.
True. Alcohol, drugs too, like all of that can.
When I'm like stressed out, overly stressed out, I like kind of run through this checklist in my head. Okay, are you PMSing? Okay, nope. Maybe you are. I don't know. 2,
if I am, I will.
2, did you have enough sleep last night? Usually the case is that I didn't, and that's why I'm so irritated or have anxiety that day. 3, are you hungry? Did you eat something? Like, why are you so angry right now? Or why are you so anxious right now? When I go through that checklist, I'm all like, okay, like, that's what it is. Blame it on that before you blame it on the circumstance. Blame it on, like, okay, I didn't get sleep last night. Like,
I need to do that more.
It's good not to, like, victimize yourself. Figure out what you need. Get it done.
What you can control.
And then see where you're at mentally. Yeah. But that's something that I've had to do a lot, because sometimes, my son can be, like, going through a phase in the day, and if I'm, like, PMSing, hungry, or didn't get sleep last night, and I'm also going through something, I'm like, okay, look, what didn't I do for myself? Because because I have to check and see if he's hungry, if he needs to be changed, or why is he irritated? And so I kind of just turned it around and did that for myself too. It's so weird, but it helps. It helps. I'm all like, girl, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this and this? Okay. That's check all that off, then come back and see if your mental state is okay. And usually, when I do it, I'm fine. Like, because sometimes I forget to eat a meal.
Or drink water.
And when I finally do it, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, okay, now I can think with reason. Now I can think with, like, that off the table, and without it affecting how I'm thinking. But yeah, so make a little mental checklist with yourself, especially if you're going through a tough time. We don't tend to feed our body or nourish our body because we're so stressed out. So just make sure you give yourself what your body needs, because it's so important. It helps. It just helps your outlook on the day.
I know at times I'll be, like, feeling so down. I'm like, I don't want to drink that water. That's the water. The water ain't gonna help me out this situation. but
it does, though.
I'm like, bitch, if you don't just drink that water, it'll help you. So why are you trying to, don't resist.
Not drink the water.
Don't resist eating. Don't resist. If you over here crying and your stomach grumbling, okay, you need to go make you some food or get some food. At least Postmate it.
And honestly, that can sometimes get your mind off of the thing that you're stressing out about, making some food or something.
Yeah, focus on, okay, what am I going to eat?
Filling up your gallon of water or something, or getting some sleep.
Chug-a-lug.
Yeah.
Chug-a-lug that water. Yes, get some sleep, man.
Yeah, it's okay to take a nap, y'all. Don't feel guilty about taking a nap.
Cat nap is good.
Don't do it too consecutively, but just take a little nap if you need a little nap.
5-minute power nap.
A little nap on a Sunday afternoon.
Or Monday.
Yes, if you can. But take a little nap. I feel like growing up, naps meant you were lazy.
You know what?
Naps don't mean that.
But think about it. In kindergarten, did we have to take naps? Why we take naps? Because we knew we would get cranky.
Hell yeah.
Take your ass a nap.
Take your ass a nap if you feel a little,
feel a little tired, a little grumpy. Take a nap.
Little tight. You feel a little tight, a little tits. Go ahead and take yourself a nap. Wake up. I bet you feel refreshed.
Drink some water.
Now, don't take it too long. If you wake up and it's nighttime, you need to think about some things because you done missed the whole day.
That means you need more than a nap, bitch. You need to take a vacation, okay? Take that sick pay. Get that sick pay. Take the sick days, okay?
Anyway, guys, this concludes the episode of Sister to Sister. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes.
We really enjoyed talking about it, and I hope you guys find some ways to get you through this transition, and I hope you guys really be mindful of what you need and what your body needs, and reach out if you need help, if you need support. Reach out to the ones that you know who love you and the ones who are there for you.
And reach out to us. Like, we're here. Mm-hmm. We're doing this podcast every week. We would love to hear your thoughts and questions, concerns. Mm-hmm. We'll be your friends. We'll be your family. So
we'll be your sisters.
We'll be your sisters.
Love you guys.
Love y'all.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Peace.